All right. Now we've still in chapter 6, second act of manifestation, which is the will of spiritual power and its spiritual power. Well, the will. And the last thought that we were entertaining was that all things are parts of the whole and are related to and interdependent upon each other. And we were talking about the whole being the subjective realm and the will of being the second sphere, saying this subjective energy can be formed into whatever we want it to be formed into. The qualities are a result of a thing's relationship to the whole, where we're talking everything's value or importance is related to everything else because everything came from one. It is not God and the world. It's not the universe and planets. We are the universe. This is the universe talking to itself. The universe is alive. Nothing dead can take care of living things. So this is the universe talking to itself. The separation of you and I is only the reality of the movement from the subjective realm to the objective realm, and the left and right sides of the brain. The left side is telling us these things are separate, while the right side is understanding our connectivity. We've already talked about in earlier videos how the left and right side differ from each other. The spiritual power is the third sphere. And like the second sphere, it looks back into the subjective realm and the essential state of being and realizes that as the energy matter that is the basis of all creations is essentially unlimited. There are no limitations to its ability to carry out what it is willed by the second sphere. Okay. First one, I am. Second one, will. No limit on what I can do with my will. Third one, the will is the potential, while the spiritual power is the actualizer or the producer of the effect in the world. First, I am. 2, I have the will to do it. 3, actually does it. 0, consciousness. I am that I am. 1, a reality of who I am in time and space and the fact that that's unlimited. 2 is my will to manipulate that. 3 is my ability to do it. Before the physical creatures can be created, there is a need for the creation of a metaphysical system of government and metaphysical entities that will carry out the work of administering the physical world. Now we're actually starting to talk about objects, hence the objective realm. Everything we're talking about now is still connected. Ever wonder, we know where my bones and my skin and my hair and my organs, we know where all of that comes from. Mommy and daddy gets together. There is the sperm fertilizes the egg. The tissues begin to form. We watch the entire formation. We see the eyes, the teeth, nose, the fingernails, everything. Watch it all form. Where does the soul come from? If the soul came from part of the mother and part of the father, there would be things that I know that my mother knows and things that I know that my father knows and vice versa. But we are completely different entities, or seen as completely different entities. So there is an independent yet connected movement from the subjective realm into that union that makes it alive. Because when we leave, everything stays here. There is no battery in us. So what is that stays alive? It's the soul that keeps us alive. Well, that soul is what moves back and forth from the objective realm to the subjective realm, at least in this theory. Order is essentially dependent on the existence of the interdependence, oneness between things. Because now again, we're talking about the creation of the celestial government. Because before the physical creatures can be created, there is a need for the creation of a metaphysical system of government or directors and metaphysical entities that will carry out the work of administering the physical world. How do we go from up in heaven or whatever dimension in which we exist to the objective realm that we know each other as entities and being born and getting old and all of these good things that we do? And then where do we go afterward? These are explanations from antiquity of reality. Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? The first act of creation, which corresponds with the fourth sphere, the tree of life, is the framing of the laws reflecting the workings and the forces of the third sphere. The third sphere is the power to make whatever it is the energy matter wants to make. We got the will in number 2. We got the awareness in number 1. Number 4 is the order. It's the framing of the laws reflecting the workings of the forces from the third sphere. And order is essentially dependent on the existence of the interdependence, oneness between things. And this is why the connection between things, the understanding between things is so important. That's why movies can make us cry. That's why poetry can make us cry. It touches that oneness and we connect to it and an emotional response happens. It's a connectedness that is in our subconscious because it is from the subjective realm. The second act of creation, which is next, is created the means of enforcing order. We already talked about order. Now we have to enforce the order. The fifth sphere. 1, I am. Awareness and my place in time and space. Number 2, my will to alter the energy matter. Number 3, my power to do so. Number 4, ordering it. And number 5, enforcing said order. No thing can encroach upon another. Yet all things are protected. The chief interest is the preservation of the whole. Let's ponder that. No thing can encroach upon another. Yet, although things are protected, the chief interest is the preservation of the whole. It's a movie called The Beautiful Mind. And this is, again, why I go back to Masonry, where it is a big push to study science. The main character in the movie, The Beautiful Mind, his the formula or the theory that he asserted was how the interest of the individual parts were best served when they served the whole. When we see these alignments between sciences, arts, music, rhetoric, astrology, antiquity, revelations of God, religion, when you see these common things, these are the truths that are generally hard to deny. So let's hold on to that at the fifth sphere, that the whole, the chief interest is the preservation of the whole.